Yo, what's going on, man? Today is September the 8th. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. We got WNBA today and we got NFL today. It's a bunch of games. I won't go through all of them because it's way too many to go through, but I will let you guys know my top bets. I got a couple, I guess you could say a money line play, a spread play, and then anytime touchdown and two more player props as well. So we'll get into those. I don't have a graphic made for yesterday's recap, but the WNBA has finally started to treat us really, really well. We cashed yesterday on the Storm. It was pretty easy after the first quarter. It was 17-17 at the end of the first quarter. They ended up blowing the Mercury out as I kind of expected. So that was an easy winner. We've been cashing the WNBA, absolute cash in the WNBA. So hopefully we can continue that. I'll be upfront honest with you guys. I have not capped the WNBA for today. I really just wanted to kind of dive into the NFL. It took me away from the WNBA. So we'll save the WNBA for last. And if people got looks that they want to talk about, they want to share, questions that they want to ask, I don't mind like deep diving into some of it once we get through some of the NFL. That's the way we'll do it today. We'll save WNBA for last. Let's go through a couple of the comments real quick before we get started. What up, Prolific? He says, good morning, Chris. Cash the Storm under last night. Let's keep it going. The Storm went up and over. Maybe the game stayed under. I don't even know. Yeah, I guess it did stay under. The Mercury didn't score. I don't know if Plum is resting today. I didn't see that. I did look into the injury report. Because if you watched the show yesterday, I talked about wanting to take the Liberty when they were -3 on DraftKings yesterday, but I don't see her on the injury report today. What up, Dropping Dime? She says my Colts play at home, and then right after that, the Fever play at Gamebridge. Great sports day in Indianapolis. Yeah, that's a fact. Lib should beat the Aces in a slow-scoring game. Christian says, what up, Justin? Good morning, Christian. Says good morning, good luck to everyone. Appreciate that. What up, Chad? 12-1 on this channel yesterday. I gotta check Chad out. 12-1. He killed NCAA football yesterday. Was talking about that yesterday in the comments on Twitter. What else y'all saying? Laying 6 with the Fever? No. Yeah, I'm not laying 6 with the Fever either, Chad. Nothing really stood out to me in the WNBA. What up, D Johnson? Says, what up, Chris? You the early morning man. Yeah, this is actually late. It's 9:30. But yeah, I just wanted to sleep in this morning. I've been waking up early a lot. Very time consuming, Prolific, if you do it the right way, man. Being a father is extremely time consuming. Good morning. What is that? Bible off, I think is how you pronounce that. What up, Cup of Joe? PZ, top of the morning to you. Game 547 says I got to ban the Mercury. They don't care anymore. They can't, they can't make threes. It's pretty easy to beat them. DJ Props says another profitable day, taking the Storm with the points in the under. Glad you cashed both of them. Derek throwing out Bengals, Bears, and Saints. What up, Ball Talk? Appreciate you for tapping in as well. NFL is here finally. Best of luck. Yeah, best of luck, man. Let's jump into it. My sport is back. Automatic first bet on the Falcons. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that game because I do like the Falcons. So I'm the only player that I gave out so far. I didn't play the Friday night football game in Brazil between the Packers and the Eagles, but I did take Travis Henry on his rushing attempts in that first game in Arrowhead when they were playing when Baltimore was playing Kansas City, and that was a loser. So I am half unit down. It was a half unit play. Half unit down on the NFL season. And just a reminder, these lines are extremely sharp. Like, I wouldn't say extremely sharp, but they've been picked over throughout the course of the season. So if you're betting today, it can be difficult. Not to say that there's not value out there, but I feel like you do have to do your due diligence if you're betting on sports today, with these lines being, just sitting around for, 2-3 months. So Texans and the Colts. And also the other thing I want to mention, I created these graphics a while ago. So some of these lines may be off. It may not be exactly what the lines are right now. But Texans and Colts, a game that I am interested in, and one that I did end up taking. And I think you got the tough spot for the Houston Texans here. They beat the Colts last season, so this is a revenge spot for Indianapolis. Of course, late in the season in the playoffs. I think the Colts will come to play here. I do think that they'll come to play. I'm just not, and I'm gonna be short and sweet with this one. I'm just not a believer in Anthony Richardson quite yet. He went down, of course, with the injury last season, which. And the big thing is he didn't get those reps, and I feel like he kind of need those reps. I also just don't like his deep ball accuracy. I don't like his accuracy in general. I know that he's going to try to use his legs, but I think the Texans are probably a top 10 team in the NFL, and I do think that they can start the season off. I think they're going to be locked in for this game, and I do think that they beat the Colts. This line is moved because you could have got Texans minus 1, minus 1.5, minus 2, minus 2.5. This line is 3 pretty much across the board here. But I did take the Texans. I took them on the money line. It's a tad bit juiced here, minus 155 on DraftKings. But I wanted to stay away from the key numbers in football. Most people know the key numbers in football, so I'm not going to get into those. But you definitely, I just like the football is a very volatile sport, one that you can win in and lose at, off a hook. So when it comes to plays like this, I've never, really endorsed, plays minus 150, minus 160, 70, all those numbers. But I'll take the Houston Texans here minus 155. The best number I saw available using the Eyes Jam screen was minus 155. But yeah, I like Houston. I think that they are far more talented team. You got, some weapons now, even more weapons with Diggs being here. And I think defensively, they're going to play really, really good in this game as well. Like I said, what it really comes down to in a lot of the NFL is quarterback play. And I'm not a big Anthony Richardson guy. So even at home, as a dog, divisional game, I'll take the Houston Texans on the money line here. Let's see what you guys are thinking, or if we have any thoughts at all about this game. And if not, we'll keep it moving. What up, Metro? He says, good morning, Chris. Great storm pick last night. Easy cash. I like the Bengals, Bears, Saints, and Lions today. Bengals is interesting. And I'm not going to go through every single game because the show will be way too long. I had a graphic for every single game. Jamar Chase may not play. Jamar Chase still may not play because he, kind of trying to wait out that contract. And he think he should be the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. Demanding a tad bit, a little more coin than Justin Jefferson is what he's thinking. I said Derrick Henry. I said Travis Henry. I meant Derrick Henry. Yeah, Derrick Henry. My fault, man. It's early. Justin says, love hearing my Falcons and Dream love. I parlayed Falcons money line with the Dream +6. Okay. Very sharp line, young man. Travel says, and I agree with that. Kilo says Houston all day with this one. Mitchell says Houston all day. I like the over 2. CJ Stroud, D Johnson, what you like? His passing yards over, his touchdown over, or just him in general? Justin says over 48 when he betted this morning. So he thinks this game goes up and over the total. It did drop because it was at 49. So I don't know if that's sharp money or not. Drop it down, says Colts haven't won a week 1 game in over 10 years. I feel like they get the monkey off their back, revenge spot as well. So he likes his Indianapolis Colts today. Okay. What up, Manny? He says top of the morning, y'all. Time to put these 8 to 10 leg parlays together. Absolutely not for me, man. Absolutely not. Cuppa Joe said he got on the Texans when they was at minus 1.5 back in July. All right. Let's keep it pushing. Arizona and just some rapid fire stuff. Arizona and Buffalo, 6.5 on most books, depending on where you're looking. This is a game that I feel like can go up and over the total. I didn't bet this one, but it was something that I do have on the short list. The reason why I didn't bet it, I don't think that if you go through and just look at the Buffalo Bills transaction, the defensive moves that they lost, the players that they lost, I don't think the Bills defense is going to be as good as it was last season. They still got a pretty good head coach who is a defensive type minded coach, but I think Arizona's offense is going to be pretty good this season. I really, really do. With Kyler Murray being back. The reason why I didn't play this game is because neither one of these teams took a lot of reps in the preseason. Like I was going through and looking at it last night just to make sure I wasn't tripping, looking at some of the beat writer stuff. But I think Arizona's going to be able to put up points with Kyler Murray. I love Marvin Harrison Jr. I talked about I gave out his season long his season-long yards over 1,000. And I think today you can get him at like 64, 65 and a half. I do have a little bit of interest in that as well. The Buffalo Bills secondary, I don't think is going to be that great, in my opinion. Arizona was a bottom 5 defense against the pass and the rush last season. So I think it's going to be points in this game. And I think the Buffalo, when you think about their offense, they got a lot to prove. No Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis is gone. I think their wide receiving core is going to make a statement. And why not make a statement at home against the Arizona Cardinals, who, even if they improve defensively, it could take a while for them to juice. So I do think this is a more high-scoring game. It wouldn't surprise me if Arizona was able to keep it close, but I don't think they're going to be able to score. And I think it's going to be a big Josh Allen game. Josh Allen got that dog in him. I do like Josh Allen a lot. So if I'm playing this game, I'm looking at the over. Arizona, and I'm going to write these down because I don't think I wrote all of them down. Arizona, Buffalo, up and over, whatever the total is, 48 and a half. I like the over here if I'm playing anything. Let's see what you guys have on this one. Houston -3, Ball Talk says. Bills -6. Christian says. Cuppa Joe says Card plus 6.5 because the Cards are healthy. Yeah, I think they are. I like McBride at tight end. Like I said, I think the offense is going to be good. I don't know how good the defense is going to be. I have no idea. What's up, Marcus? He says Cards cover here. Marvin Harrison debut against a pretty not good secondary, in my opinion. Buffalo secondary, just real quick, let's just put some numbers behind Buffalo secondary really quickly. I want to tell you guys what I saw when I was looking at Buffalo secondary. So Buffalo secondary, can't remember all this stuff off the top of my head. There's a lot going on. Secondary's ranked 19th, front seven ranked 20th. So both, bottom half of the league. I not big on the defense. Not big on the defense at all. I think they lost too much with Tre'Davious White, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, Dane Jackson. Like this secondary is completely different. I think they get toasted today. Justin likes Kyler Murray over his 254.5 passing and rushing yards together. I don't think that's a bad look at all, Justin. It makes a lot of sense to me. Derek went Kyler Murray anytime touchdown. Young Man Travel says taking Arizona. Buffalo won't be an effective offense, and run defense is shaky. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a beast too. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good matchup for him. I really do. We'll see how much chemistry they have together. Him and Kyler Murray in this matchup. Love the Cards here. Ball Talk says a little worried about the mental clock, the West Coast, East Coast transition. Outside of that, Buffalo is cooked, especially on the defensive end. So a lot of agreement here, it feels like. Maurice likes Tua, 250 passing yards. CJ Stroud, 250. Stafford, 250. Goff, 250. I couldn't talk you off any of these. They all got some pretty good matchups, in my opinion. Prolific like Buffalo. He says the Bills all the way. We from New York. Okay. And Kilo says Bills will run the air off the ball. Maybe the under is in play. I was thinking about James Cook on his rushing yards. Not gonna lie, I think could be a sneaky look, just because Buffalo could depend on the run a little bit more. And you've been reading anything out of the camp, out of the beat reporters, they're talking about playing that 2 tight end set, right, with Dalton Knox and Kincaid. So it could be a lot of running the football. But I'm interested to see who becomes the number 1 receiver. Like, is it going to be Khalil Shakur, or is it going to be Coleman, the rookie? This is going to be interesting, man. I'm interested. I will be tuned into this game. I can't wait for this one. Mark says over. Allen will be throwing downfield for chunks or interceptions. Either way, points. Okay, I can see it. All right, let's keep it moving. If I don't have, this was way longer than I thought I was gonna spend on this one game. If I don't have any thoughts, I'll just keep it pushing. Tennessee and Chicago. This line is moved. This was at 4.5. Like, it was at 4.5 earlier this week. Money come in on Tennessee. Really it's that strong trend of, and I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's, road, like number 1 picks or like starting quarterbacks in week 1 haven't covered a spread in such a long time, blah. I think this game has points as well. I know that the Bears and Caleb Williams have looked good in the preseason, but this is the regular season. I also saw I'm laughing because it just popped in my head. Coach Bill Belichick said, he was talking about Caleb Williams and throwing a little shade at him, saying, he wasn't that accurate. He was 10 for 20. So, I think Tennessee are live dogs in this game. I can see Tennessee keeping this within a field goal. I know that the number is 3 now. And I think Tennessee is going to do a really good job of passing the football. So I'm interested to see the Bears in their secondary really quickly. Let's just look at that real quick. I know that the Bears did a little bit better job. Let's go. So the Bears last season, I just want to see what their secondary is projected to be this season. Secondary is projected to be 4th. Front 7 is projected to be 21st though, so not as good, with the linebacking and the defensive lineman. But secondary is supposed to be good. I think Will Levis gonna let that thing go though. I do think he's gonna sling the football, up and down the field. They got some really good weapons. Calvin Ridley, Boyd being here, Tyler Boyd. Like I love what Tennessee has done, and I think post Derrick Henry era, they're not going to look to run the ball as much. So I would be looking at this game to go up and over the total. I think points are scored in this game. Conversely, I don't think their defense is going to be that good either. So I like this one up and over. If I had to play this one as well, I'm just not into playing totals too early in the season. Let's see. Justin says he got Titans +4, key number. Glad you beat it. Helm says he likes Tajay Spears over 2.5 receptions here. I couldn't talk you off. Yeah, I could not talk you off at all. It could be a big Tajay Spears game. Will Levis up and over his 239.5 passing yards. Is that what the number is? Is the number that low for Will Levis? That's super low. Let's go look at that real quick. Player passing yards. Let's go to Mr. Levis. I didn't think it was that low. I didn't even look into it, honestly, too deeply either. Best number I see right now is for Will Levis. I see 233.5. If you guys have Bally Bet, 233.5 for Will Levis. I like that. I like Will Levis. That's a good one. I like that, isn't it? Will Levis up and over 233. It looks like is the best number for Will Levis. Definitely shop around because I see 239s, 240, 249 actually on bet ESPN bet. So these lines are super soft. It just depends on where you're able to find them at. 233.5 for Will Levis right now on Bally Bet if you guys have access, and we do here in VA. So I've been writing down the book name beside him too. I like it. Caleb rushing yards, sneaky. People forgot he can actually run. Nadir says, okay. Calvin Ridley, anytime touchdown, Derek says, I can see it. Caleb Williams over his 18.5 rush yards. So 2 people like that. Mark says he got the Bears -3 last week. So he's on the opposite side thinking that they can cover. I'm fading rookie quarterbacks, laying points. I couldn't talk you off, young man, Travel. Me and Mark got a little bit of disagreement, but we'll see how it goes. Big Marv says Caleb Williams, 2 passing touchdowns. Don't sound bad. You got some weapons, man. I like Odunze a lot. You also bring in who they got? Keenan Allen. You still got Cole Kmet at the tight end position. DJ Moore. I'm tripping. DJ Moore. And I know my guy Munov, when I did the propcast with him, he does like DJ Moore. I think his receiving yards like 62.5. It was one of his favorite prop bets that he made this week. So if anybody who wants to tell, Munov's pretty sharp NFL player prop capper for sure. Marquis says he's taking screw the points. He's taking them on the money line. He says, I'm here in the Ville, but a Packers fan. Titans defense sleeper this year. So he thinks the defense is going to be good. What's Will Levis interception odds? That's for sure happening too. Let's see. I might be able to find that really quickly. Player interceptions. Mr. Levis is over 1.5 for Will Levis is juiced. It's -160 on DraftKings, -155 on Bet365. So it looked like the best number I see is -155 for Will Levis to throw a pick today. Nadir over on Bet365 if you got access. What else? I raised Levis' number to get plus money. Okay, Justin likes Levis a lot in this spot. Bears gonna kill the Titans. Okay. Lincoln Riley, Caleb Williams is different, Mark says. We're gonna find out today. All right, let's keep it moving, man. Like I said, I gotta go rapid fire through these games. I can't get through all of the comments. Patriots Bengals, not a game that I'm interested in betting. I immediately wanted to look towards the under. The total continues to drop in this game. I think it's come back down again. Let me just double check it because I think it's a couple players that are listed as questionable in this game for Cincinnati, and the big one being Jamar Chase. But it's another weapon for Cincinnati that's also listed as questionable. This total is 41. It looks like it's the best number if you do like the under. I probably won't get there just because the total is so low, but the Patriots are the Patriots, man. They're projected to have a bottom five wide receiver group, running back group, quarterback group. I think they're starting Brissett. You just don't expect them to score too many points. I thought about taking a team total under for them, but the number is so low. I think it's like 15.5, 16.5. So I didn't get there with that either. But it should be a game where, especially I'm interested to see what happens with Jamar Chase because he is listed as questionable in this game. But as long as Joe can stay healthy and stay upright, because that was a big part of what killed the Bengals last season is they couldn't protect him. So as long as he can stay upright, man, I think that, this should be a blowout. I do think Cincinnati should win the game. The Patriots defense, I think, even though they, kept a lot of those really good defenders, I think losing Coach Bill Belichick, I talked about this in the season-long preview. I do think that they are going to slide just a tad bit. I expect the offense to be absolutely putrid as well. So I'm all the way sleep on Jacoby Brissett. Ball talk. He says, don't sleep on Jacoby Brissett. I'm not a believer, man. I'm not a believer. Jacoby Brissett reminds me of, he goes in that tier of quarterbacks with Desmond Ridder, in my opinion. Just something, sometimes you'd rather watch the paint dry than watch the football game. And that's how I feel about Jacoby Brissett. Not a big believer. It's not great football, in my opinion. So I just feel like the Patriots defense is going to be on the field a large part of the day. I think that they're going to be on the field a large part of the day. And eventually they'll weigh down and Cincinnati should be able to score the football eventually. So I do kind of like the under. And I do like, I like the points. I think this line has come down to 7.5, which is a key number, of course. Didn't play the game, but that's where I'm thinking about it. Let's see. Incognegro says, I respect your WNBA mind. Let's see what you're talking about with the pigskin. Yeah, let's see what I'm talking about with the pigskin. We'll see how it goes. Don't sound like we got a lot of opinions on this game in general. Mark says, don't throw rocks at me. Pats +8. Okay. He likes the Pats plus the points here. Definitely a game I will wait to see what's going on with Jamar Chase if I wanted to play. Saints and Panthers, this is a game that I stayed completely off of. I didn't play this game at all. I think there was some sharp money from some professional sports bettors who are a little bit higher on the Carolina Panthers this season. I just kind of want to wait and see. This was a terrible offense last season. Of course, they bring in Canales, and he's supposed to, really help, the offensive side of the football. I just want to wait and see. I'm not high on the Saints. Like, I just kind of feel like glad about this game. I didn't even really, dive too deep into it. It's not anything that I want to play. This is be a game that I probably want to even end up watching. I'll probably just stay off of this one in general. Derek says he likes Taysom Hill, I'm guessing. Anytime touchdown. Under, more under, Aaron says. Thou shalt not bet on NFC South games. That's how I feel. Cover Joe. I'm not, it is a divisional game. PZ says I'm heavy on the Saints minus the 3.5. And I probably got this line wrong, I'm guessing. Did I put this line wrong? Let's just double check it real quick. This line right now is New Orleans Saints minus 3.5, and I definitely got that. I got that wrong. Not even close to being right here. That's completely wrong. So pay no attention to this graphic. Clearly, I wasn't in tune with this. The Saints are favored in this one. Yeah, my fault. I messed that one up. Helm says he likes Levis yards. Oh, he says 230.5 on Bovado, if you're betting on Bovado. Nadia likes Taysom Hill. Anytime touchdown plus 200 play. He is their goal line running back. Nadia says, yeah, I do think Alvin Kamara is cooked, man. I really, really do. Jay Holiday says, what's up, Chris? Are you ready for some football action? Taking Dallas plus the points today. We're going to talk about that. Justin likes Adam Thielen, over 37.5 receiving yards. They got some good chemistry. Him and Bryce Young were well connected last season. We was prop cash on Adam Thielen over his receiving yards. So we'll see how it goes. Ball Talk says under, depending on how Derek Carr and Bryce Young score. He says it's nasty work. I'm taking Daniel Jones over David Carr any day of the week. Yeah, like I said, not a game I'm interested in betting. Vikings and Giants, another game I'm not interested in betting. If you got opinions, just leave them in the comments, man. I'm not betting on Daniel Jones, and I'm not betting on the opposite side of the football either. I think the Vikings are going to be pretty bad this season. I like their win total under 7. And the Giants are also projected just to have 4.5 wins, depending on how you're looking. It's not a game I'm interested in betting, man. These are two teams that I need to see before I'm deciding I want to bet on either one of them. Yeah, I know Daniel Jones has looked really, really bad. I can't play either though. Justin says he likes the Giants plus 102 on the money line. Christian says fade the Giants, and this is exactly what I'm thinking. Going back a little bit, Deontay Johnson there now. He is an upgrade at the wide receiver position, Helms. He's going to take a lot of those balls, Helms says. He's probably, Adam Thielen, I think, is like 34, so that makes sense. It should be a transitioning year here. Let's see. Lock in David Montgomery for the Lions game now. The defensive tackles in the Rams uniform is questionable. A bruising back, going to get an anytime touchdown. Okay. Neighbors over. I know a lot of people who like Neighbors a lot in this game. I didn't even look into that matchup. I know he should get the football a lot. Whatever his receptions are, should absolutely get there. So I would be looking, I guess, towards Neighbors as well. He's the only hope, in my opinion. Kind of feels a little bit like Odell Beckham Jr. when he was there. So I couldn't talk you guys off of Neighbors at all. Not a game I'm interested in betting, no. One that I am interested in betting, and this line is moved. Steelers and Falcons game will be played in Atlanta, and this line is at 3.5 now. I think the total may have come down just a tad bit, and I like Atlanta here. I do like Atlanta. If you guys are paying attention to injury report, especially early this morning, it sounds like Justin Fields is going to get the start with Russell Wilson, having some kind of a setback. And I'm pretty high on Atlanta in this spot. I know we haven't seen a lot of Kirk Cousins. He'll be coming off that injury, which is a tad bit concerning. But I do think I think the Falcons got a major upgrade here at the quarterback position. Anytime you can replace Desmond Ridder, you're going to do a lot better. And you look at Kirk Cousins, he was 5th in accuracy to, the wide receivers last season. Atlanta also has the top 5 offensive line, nice wide receiver room with Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Rondale Moore. You got Kyle Pitts at the tight end position. I think the offense is going to be good. And the other thing is I just don't trust Pittsburgh. I trust their defense. They've always been a great defensive team, since before the days of Mike Tomlin. He's been there for forever. But I don't trust their offense. I don't trust Pittsburgh's offense here at all. I think that they're going to struggle to score the football. Justin Fields, I guess. I don't even know who is the better quarterback between him and Russell Wilson. But I'm not high on Pittsburgh at all. I'm not really high on them offensively. And I think Atlanta has enough to get the job done. Line went to 3.5. You can get a 3. Best number I saw for 3, which you got to go in there off the spread, was minus 130. And that's a key number. So I'm not laying the 3.5, but I will take the 3 with Atlanta here. I like the line. I like the Falcons here. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. Helms on the opposite side. He says give him the Steelers plus the 3. Okay. Justin likes the Dirty Birds, his Atlanta Falcons down there. Young Man Travel says he likes Carolina either way. NFC South teams, heavy trends to the under when they playing each other, and that is a fact. I remember seeing those last season. Pass on Vikings Giants. I'm right there with you. What up, G421? He says, what up, Chris? Caught the live replay yesterday, and Skylar Diggins-Smith assist cash. She could have broke the record. She just ended up being subbed out late. They put Nekamula in the fourth quarter. I was up watching that. Skylar Diggins-Smith, anybody, the opposing point guard, wide receiver, point guard assist when they're playing against the Mercury has been cash. Yeah, they can't stop a nosebleed with a beach towel right now. Feels for anytime touchdown. Mike Tomlin doesn't usually let players that miss Friday's practice play on Sunday unless their name is Ben Roethlisberger. Okay. What up, Ski? He says, bro, who made the WNBA schedule? Why do they want to put 5 games on the NFL opening Sunday? Because they're idiots, Ski. Bro, it was so frustrating. And I'm like trying to go through and like finalize NFL stuff on top of like everything else that's going on a Saturday. And I'm like, it's 5 games tomorrow. So yeah, I didn't really dive into WNBA today. Like I'm not gonna lie. I was looking at the schedule, like nothing really jumps out to me. I really don't feel like capping WNBA. And yeah, if I finish WNBA with no plays today, we had a profitable week and I'll take it. Mark says also we're on the opposite side. He liked Pittsburgh's plus the 3. Okay. Am I crazy for thinking Darnold is actually good? Sam Darnold? I don't like Sam Darnold. I think 3,475.5 is what his passing yards are that I bet the under on. Me and my guy Munoz went over that one on the Propcast as well. Took that number on FanDuel. Only book I saw it was available on. I think it's 3,475 yards for Sam Darnold. I'm not even sure if he finishes the season as a starting quarterback for the Vikings, but we'll see. What else? Nadir says we got WNBA action going on. He says Cardoso props about to hit like crack in the 80s with this NFL Sunday. With no Angel Reese. Angel Reese is out. We can't jump back and forth though. We gotta stick to one thing. Living in Pittsburgh, but from Augusta is gonna be wild. Hate the Squillers. Justin says Justin Fields may be playing for QB1 position. Should have a good game. We'll see how it goes. Success is what you make it. We shall see. All right. Jacksonville and Miami. Another game that I didn't bet. Jacksonville I think my overall expectations for Jacksonville is that maybe they play a little bit better now that they're not projected to do as well. This Dolphins offense is very, very high powered, of course. It does stink that if you guys saw the updated stuff today, when I woke up this morning, I was looking at it. It does sound like Jalen Ramsey, even if he plays, he's not going to be 100%. It will be on a pitch count. That's not great. That's not great at all. One of the top cornerbacks in the NFL. You want your DBs to be out there, but I do think the Dolphins' offense is going to be. I think it's going to be really, really good again. Tua slimmed down over the offseason. You still got a really great wide receiving room. They paid the guys, Jaden Waddle, Tyreek Hill, really deep at the running back position. It's just, can they put it together defensively? And I think that this line has moved too. I think the I didn't go through and update all these lines. I think it's 3.5. So just some general thoughts here. I didn't bet Jacksonville versus the Dolphins though. Big Marv says Dolphins team total up and over. Chad likes the Jags. He says plus 3.5 a game he actually bet. Young man Travel says he's taking the over here as well. He says both defenses is shaky. Miami will be lit on offense. I do think Miami's going to be able to score the ball for sure. And okay, here go Chad with some WNBA. He says Mystics plus 8.5. That was the way I was looking. And not to jump into WNBA, but Shakira Austin is listed as questionable. If she comes back in this game, I don't like the Mystics as much, Chad. I'm interested to know what your thoughts are. They've been playing a lot better without her. I think she slows down the offense just because, they can't move the ball as much when they're concentrating on giving it to her at the high post or on the block. So I like the Mystics offense a little bit better, and they've been playing really good defense without her too, which is interesting. But they are still gunning, trying to get into the playoffs. And I don't think they've been quite eliminated yet. And then the other thing is you got the Lynx on the second in a really tough spot. Like they had to come from behind. They were down, I think, double digits, against the Indiana Fever. So traveling from Indiana to Washington, only 1 day of rest in between. I think it's 1 day of rest. Yeah, 1 day of rest in between. I could see that. First half is also in play, of course, whenever the Mystics are catching big points at the crib, but I would want to wait. He says Libs -3. We talked about that yesterday. Dream +5 and Wings +1.5. Their Wings +1.5 been gone. I saw the Wings at -4.5 when the news that Angel Reese was out for the season came out. All right, so we are going back and forth. My apologies. I love talking sports, so I'm so unorganized right now. Blame my fault, man. Spit Stonks says Tyreek Hill for a touchdown. He not letting Worthy show him up with 2. Okay. Jags over 48.5. Bet it yesterday, Justin says. Mark says he on the contrarian under here. Under 49.5 is what he took. Evan Ingram over his 44.5 yards. I couldn't talk you off of that. Evan Ingram had a big season yesterday. And Jacksonville, I think, will utilize him a little bit more this year, Justin. Couldn't talk you off of that one at all. Tyreek Hill, anytime touchdown. What else? Gotta imagine the entire world is on Miami here. I didn't cap any WNBA. Outside of my general thoughts, but sometimes a cash, I didn't cap any WNBA at all. Nah, it's all good, Chad. All good. I don't even know what you're apologizing for, bro. What up, Sharon? Appreciate you for tapping in. Nadir says he likes HN over on everything today. Doesn't care about Raheem Mostert at all. Jags team total over 26.5. Dropping Dime says. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Next game up, Broncos and the Seahawks. I'm not sure what his line is, so don't pay attention to the line. Double check it for yourself. Broncos, Bo Nix on the road, rookie quarterback against I'm thinking Seattle defense is going to be a little bit better this season. I do like their defense. I think their offense is going to be able to continue humming as well. Not really wanting to trust the rookie quarterback on the road here, even though Bo Nix has looked really, really good throughout the preseason. Of course, he wins the QB1 position, which we all kind of anticipate. Well, I know I anticipated. But I think Seattle's going to be able to score here. Broncos defense wasn't that great last season. I can see this game going up and over the total. I also like something that intrigued me was looking at Bo Nix passing yard, pass attempts under. I think the number was a tad bit high, like plus, I think it was like 33.5 was the number. And I kind of feel like Sean Payton is going to want to play this game a tad bit slower. I think that they're not going to just want to throw Bo Nix out there, have him passing the ball. Now, granted, he will, he wants the ball out of his hands a lot faster. And that was the problem, of course, with having Russell Wilson last season. But I kind of thought that number was a tad bit too high. I could see Denver kind of concentrating on running the ball with Williams. They got a, pretty good running back room. Seattle kind of struggled against the run last season. So that's the way I was thinking about this game, but I didn't play anything here. Let's see what you guys are thinking. What up, Lightbearer? Bo Nix, anytime touchdown, plus 440. Justin says he played. Okay. Ball Talk says y'all better not put y'all money on them Cowboys today. Depending on the TT, I might take that instead. Will Levis gonna show out today? Okay. Big Zan says y'all let me know when Chris started talking WNBA. I don't really got a lot of WNBA for today, if I'm being honest with you guys. Raiders and Chargers. This line also moved down to 3 on most sports books. And this was one I talked about, at the beginning of when I did the season-long preview. The Raiders were plus 3.5 at the time. This number is actually down to 2.5 on DraftKings. So, money coming in on the Raiders. I don't know if it's sharp money or not. But, Chargers, totally new team this season outside of, new head coach. Harbaugh's there. New wide receiving room. You lose Mike Williams. You lose Keenan Allen. Immediately made me want to look towards some of the wide receivers to go over on their props. But we haven't seen Justin Herbert, a lot at all. And that's one of the reasons why I kind of want to stay off of this one. Key number 3.5 is moved for the Raiders as well. I'm not high on the Raiders. I don't think that they're going to be good at all this season. But I also don't want to lay points with the Chargers. There's not a spot that I want to lay, even being at the crib. I don't want to lay with the Chargers here. I don't really have a lot of betting thoughts on this game. Just more so like I'm not laying with the Chargers. So with the number coming down to 3, it's enough to kind of keep me off. I kept the money in my pocket, but I'll be looking at the Raiders. I think that they could potentially steal one. And I think that the Chargers, with so many moving pieces, I think they're going to try to prioritize running the football a little bit more. The offensive line, hasn't been great. Justin Herbert always seems like he got pressure in his face. And Harbaugh being new, I kind of just, like I said, I don't know, man. I'm not high on the Raiders, not high on the Chargers either. So it's a stay away game for me. OJ says the same thing. Says stay away. Only took Devontae Adams to go up and over. Yeah, the whole Pop-Tart thing with Devontae Adams from last season. He will be motivated in this game. It's going to be interesting to see if they can get him the football consistently, though. I see a lot of people on his yards over. I'm not going to talk anybody off. What up, Joe the Gambler? I know we talked about this game together. Going back real quick. What up, LJ? He says Kenneth Walker over 66.5 rushing yards. Denver allowed 161 rushing yards last year on the road. Kenneth Walker should cook today. I like this a lot, LJ, especially at the crib. What up, Prestigious Prodigy? What else we seeing here? Joe says he likes the Raiders here. Game 547 says Devontae Adams narrative. Chargers posted him his trash bad Pop-Tarts, and he responded upset. Yeah, I did see that as well. Thoughts on the libs? May play them live if we get it down to -3. People still want to talk WNBA. What up, Jake? Appreciate you for being in here, man. Can't stop the caps. It's top of the morning, Chris. You can lock in Tyreek Hill and Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdowns today. Parlay. What up, Midnight Toker? Appreciate you for tapping in as well. Let's keep it pushing. I do have some interest in this game. This is one that I bet. I didn't bet the spread or the points. The Dallas is projected, of course, to take a slight step back. A lot of people aren't as high on them as they recently have been, and I just can't gauge the Browns. I can't gauge the Browns at all. Deshaun Watson is an interesting guy, man. I do think that if you go back and look at the numbers last season, I'll have them right in front of me, but the Browns defense was really, really good, specifically at home games. Really, really good at home games. Dallas, if you go through and look at them, and I talked about this on the previous show as well, they played the lesser thans really, really good. They won most of those games. When they were playing against a team, specifically on the road, that had a win percentage above 50%, they were not great at all. So are we expecting Dallas to struggle in this spot? I absolutely am expecting them to struggle in this spot. This Cleveland defense is, probably top 5 defense in the NFL. Well, not even probably. They are a top 5 defense in the NFL. But I also can't trust the quarterback position. Deshaun Watson, really hasn't played a lot, like, to even evaluate him, throughout the season. So the one thing I think that is going to happen, though, is I think that Dak Prescott is going to pass the ball a lot here. His reception, his pass attempts is something that intrigued me. 34.5 is the number, 35 on some books as well. 35 on most books, but you can get a 34.5 if you want the juice, like -140-ish. Dak finished the season passing the ball 60 times against the Green Bay Packers last season. He was up and over the 35 pass attempts in 5 of his last 7 games. And I really feel like Cleveland is going to stop this little bit of a Dallas run game that they have, which correlates to 2 plays that I like in this game. You only got, this running back room for the Dallas Cowboys isn't great. You got Zeke, at the later stages of his career. He's lost a step. So I do think that for Dallas to have any kind of success in this game, they will have to pass the football. I think Cleveland's offense is going to be up-tempo, which should give Dallas a few more possessions. So I like Dak Prescott, his pass attempts to go up and over 34.5. I think he passed the ball close to 40 times today in Cleveland. Also, just looking at that Cleveland defense, and this correlates with the second play, the defense of the Cleveland Browns, they limited opponents to just 23 carries last season per game, which was actually the second fewest in home games. And they allowed just 3.9 yards per carry, 86.6 yards per rushing game. Both of those ranked top 8 last season. And I think they pick up right where they left off at last season. This Cleveland Browns defense may even actually gotten better. So I like Ezekiel Elliott also. His longest rush attempt was something that my guy Munov, we actually talked out on the Propcast. Ezekiel Elliott longest rush attempt is 10.5 yards. I don't think he gets there in this game. Last season, he ran the football 184 times. He only had 11 yards or more 8 times out of the 184. So going on the road, the rushing yards, I think it's like 30.5, which is a super conservative number. The rush attempts is like 9.5, 10.5. So I think the longest rush makes the most sense. You can get this on ESPN bet at -105 here. I like Ezekiel Elliott. Longest rush to go under 10.5 yards is my favorite play in this game. Let's see what you guys are thinking. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot of people on both sides here. I like it, Christian. He says Danny Dimes and Sam Darnold to each throw a pick, small play on each. I could definitely see it. They both going to be out there slinging it and, yeah, probably land in the wrong person's hand more times than not, at least once anyway. Joe says Cowboys had really bad offseason. On the road as a dog, can't be a spot to like them. Browns money line, Deshaun doesn't have to be great. And that's a fact. You're relying on the defense if you're liking Cleveland in this spot for sure. Oh, I did not see this. If this is true by Smokeman. Joe, he says Deshaun Watson father passed on Friday. He balling out for the Browns. He says it's the lock of the week for them. Okay. Ball Talk says big Browns today as well. He definitely finessed that big bag he got. Absolutely. This is a guy that's getting paid. Ball Talks like CeeDee Lamb in this spot. LJ says Myles Garrett to get a half a sack, over half a sack. He had a sack every season opening game career besides COVID year. Dallas starting 2 rookie offensive linemen. They should probably get cooked here. Chad says Dak throws an interception over for Dak. Real quick, let's see what we can get the best odds. That might be something I'm interested in adding for sure. See if we can get the best odds for Mr. Dak Prescott to throw a pick in this game. Player interceptions, Mr. Prescott. Dak to throw a pick is -145. So the books are anticipating Dak to throw a pick. -145 available on BetMGM. Oh, I'm sorry, on -150 on BetMGM. -145 on Bet365. -145 on DraftKings as well for Dak to throw a pick. So the books are expecting Dak to throw a pick today, with it being juiced to the over. I like it, Chad. Like it a lot. I'll be rooting for my Cowboys, but not betting, Mark says. Can't Stop says he likes the Browns to win. 0-5 against the spread. Cowboys last season as an underdog. Yeah, I talked about this. I didn't have the numbers in front of me because I just can't find all my NFL numbers. But yeah, I talked about this. I did do the work for sure. Jake says wings today. The Dallas Wings to win a game? Okay. They should win the game. We'll see how it goes. Cooper Amari over 49.5. Justin says he put it in his pocket, +110. And Young Man Travel says another year of Dallas fans getting their hopes up, but season champs and postseason lames. So give me Dallas. So he likes them early in the season, in this game specifically as well. Peasy says he's on the Browns money line. Okay, not sure on the Bears from Chicago and area. So the people are hyped. They do have better options for Caleb though. They do. They absolutely do. Easy money is good money. I agree with that as well, Chad. All right, let's keep it moving. So 2 plays in this game for me. I like Dak Prescott up and over 34.5 pass attempts. You can take the 35.5 if it's available in your book. I like Ezekiel Elliott, longest rush to stay under 10.5 rushing yards as well for his longest run. So this is a game that I do like. I didn't bet the Bears. I'm the Browns, but that's the way I would look. So for people who don't know, I am a Commanders fan. I've been, but way before. I got pictures with, my grandpa holding me, who taught me the game of football at a young age. He got me decked out in the, in the Redskin gear. But I typically stay away from the Commanders game. I do think that I'm pretty high on the Commanders this season. I do think that they have a lot of variance, right? If Jaden Daniels is as good as he has the potential to be, then I think the Commanders could be really good. Not really high on the Bucks this season. I do think that them losing their offensive coordinator, Canals being gone now, Baker Mayfield had a lot of luck. He was really high on the luck success last season. So I kind of want to take Washington. I don't like taking rookie quarterbacks on the road in week 1. That could be difficult, but I do think this line is short for a reason. I think the Commanders could potentially win this game outright. The defense got a lot better in the offseason. I'm not playing a lot of these spreads in week 1 because I want to see what happens, right? Sometimes it could take units a little while to gel, as we saw in the Thursday night football game, with Baltimore offensive line. So defense should be a lot better. This was a terrible defense last season. The Bucs defense wasn't that great either. But this is a game I'll stay away from. Those are just some general thoughts here. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. Tori says he took the over in the Cowboys game. Chad says not taking any favorites week 1, but if I were to take one, it'd be Bucks. Bucks would be who it is. Yeah, man, it's a difficult game, man. 3.5 is over that key number 3. I kind of think Washington can keep it close, man, but I want to see Washington first. So those are my thoughts on this one. We'll keep it moving. Carmen says WNBA. We'll get into a little bit of WNBA in just a second. How many games do we have left? I think it's just the Rams and the Lions are the last one. And I don't have a lot on this game either. I just give you guys some general thoughts. And this is, I think I got this wrong too. Let me just double check it real quick. It's a lot putting these graphics together. This game is not going to be played in Detroit, as you see Detroit on the right-hand side of the screen. I'm pretty sure this game. Oh no, I'm tripping. It is in Detroit. Okay. So yeah, and this line is moved. They opened 3.5, which is a key number, of course. Well, 3 is the key number, but up to 4.5. Money coming in on Detroit here. People thinking that Detroit probably going to end up, getting smoking the Rams here, or at least winning the game by, more than a field goal. And I like that. I think Detroit has I know Detroit has a top 5 offensive line. I think they build on the success that they had last season with the injury to Jordan Love in the Friday night game. I think minus 130 is available for Detroit to win the division. And I'm kind of intrigued by that. I do think that Detroit's going to be really good this season. I love the coach. I love the wide receiving room. You add a wide receiver in there as well, with Williams being there now. Another year for Jahmyr Gibbs, even though I think is kind of limping into the season with that hamstring injury. I think it's a hamstring injury. And I think that their defense is going to be much improved as well. I love, them getting Reader and to add to the rush defense the pass defense, because that's where they really, really struggled at. If I had one play in this game, it would be probably a look towards, let's see. It would be Stafford to go up and over his pass attempts. I think the Lions were a team last season that really, really shut the run down. I think they're gonna try to get the ball out of his hands a lot faster, which was what's led to some success for the Rams going, I think, 6-1 to end the season last season. So if there's anything that I like in this game, I do think they're gonna have to pass the ball. I don't think that they're gonna run the ball a lot, and I think he could potentially have 40 pass attempts as well. So when these road teams are playing against really good defenses, sometimes they can abandon the run. And if they're playing from behind, they're going to have to pass the ball to stay in the game as well. So pass attempts to go up and over for Stafford, I think, comes in somewhere around, I'll give you guys the actual numbers, so I'm not trying to guess. Stafford pass attempts is 34.5, 35.5 too, depending on where you're shopping, 36.5 on some books as well. I think Stafford could throw the ball 37, 38, 40 times in this game, especially if it's played with pace. Indoor game, dome, so no weather. I like Stafford. I like Stafford pass attempts to go over if I'm playing here. It's definitely on my short list. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. Baker Mayfield interception minus 141 is in Justin's pocket. Cuppa Joe says he likes the Commanders on the upset as well. He says, damn, I have all three NFC teams winning. I'm bugging. You like, yeah. Ooh. Sheesh, yeah. So you like Dallas, you like the Commanders, and you like the Giants. I don't know if everybody start off 1-0. We'll see though. Manny says he took the Rams +4. He says my Lions get it. Big Marv says the Stafford disrespect starting to get out of hand. Manny says he's getting older. Cuppa Joe says still like Detroit -4.5. The secondary in LA isn't reliable, and the Detroit Lions getting better with the LA defensive line losing pieces and getting worse. Yeah, Aaron Donald, retiring is not gonna help at all. He says maybe a blowout. Midnight Toga says he likes Detroit +1200 in the Super Bowl. Go ahead and lock it in now. Okay. Taking Puka anytime touchdown. Young man Travel says Puka Nacua +110 for anytime touchdown here. All right, cool. Let's go. Let me just see something real quick. I didn't even make graphics for WNBA, but I know people in the comments that want to talk about the games. So let's do that real quick. And then we'll get into a quick recap of WNBA bets. So let's see what the lines are just really quickly, because like I said, I ain't really looking at WNBA today, but we can talk through it. All right, let me just double check the lines. Y'all bear with me for 1 second. Let me just double check the lines and put them up on the screen so you guys can see them as well. It shouldn't take me long. Let's go current lines at that too. All right, so all right, just because y'all want to do it, we'll go. All right, so we got links. Minnesota versus Washington. This line is looks like consensus is +8.5, +7.5 now. So money coming in on Washington. Total is 161. All right. Next up, we got Atlanta in Indy. 5.5 is the number now. The money already coming in on Atlanta. Total sitting at 169.5. And we got Las Vegas versus New York. -4, -5, it looks like it's the consensus. Total sitting at 169, it looks like it's consensus. Dallas versus Chicago. -4.5. I'm sorry, +4 for Chicago. +4.5, it looks like it's consensus. Total looks like it's 170.5 is consensus. Golly, man. And Connecticut versus LA, the LA Sparks. And they are laying 10.5 at the crib on the road in LA. Total sitting at 160.5. All right, so let's go through it real quick. Just very, very quickly. Let's go through it. All right. So Minnesota and Washington. Minnesota is 1 day's rest. They got the W against the Indiana Fever. They have won 9 of their last 10 games, 7-2-1 against the number in their last 10 games. They got a game against the Atlanta Dream, so this will be the second of a third game road trip for them. They play in Atlanta on Tuesday. All right. Washington Mystics, first game back home. They're coming home from Phoenix. They had 2 days off of rest. Beat Phoenix, beat Dallas, won both of the games on the road trip. They've won their last 2, and they've covered 6 of their last 7. The only one that they didn't cover was against the was against the Connecticut Sun. They play again on Wednesday in Chicago. So a one-off home game for the Washington Mystics. Like I said, this one really came down to the injury report, in my opinion. I want to see what happens with Shakira Austin. I know Ariel Atkins missed that last game as well. It does kind of feel like a flat spot for the Lynx. And I would also be looking I kind of want to take the under. One thing that really sticks out to me just off the top of my head is these teams in these double revenge spots this season. That's been a trend that's been going towards the under for a very long time. So if we just look at teams with double in season revenge, they are. Let's see. Damn, of course, it's not working. It's taking longer than I thought. I know it's a strong trend towards the under, though. I just can't Can't get it to work right now. The database to work right now. Let's see if I can go here and see it real quick. What? Yeah, so about 56% towards the under are teams in this double revenge spot. And I think about the Minnesota Lynx and the Washington Mystics. The Mystics already lost twice to this team since the Olympic break. So yeah, I think probably a look towards the under if I'm playing anything. Also, I'd be remiss without mentioning Washington first half. If we think the Minnesota Lynx are going to come out flat, they came out flat against the Indiana Fever in that last game. And we're losing that game by a significant margin before going on an absolute run in the third quarter. So I'll be looking at probably Washington first half and probably a look towards the under at 161.5. I know it's a super low total, but Washington defense has also been really good as of late also. So those are my thoughts on the first game. Let's see if we have Dream. Justin says, I repeat, Dream +6, Falcons money line parlayed at +175. Chad says fading the Lynx is not for the weak heart, but Mystics should show enough fight to not get blown out as usual. And that's a fact, Chad. This has been the best ATS team, I think, in the WNBA overall. The Minnesota Lynx the Washington Mystics, really good ATS team. 90% of the money on the Fever. I like the Dream. I ain't messing with it at all. Mitchell says, make sure you guys hit the like button. Appreciate that reminder. Mark says, I'm on the under 161, getting to the Mystics +8. I like it. I think we capped that one pretty good. And that's the ways that I would be looking, probably under and Washington first half and Mystics plus the 8.5 as well is the way that I would look. Like Chad said, it's difficult to fade the Lynx, but I don't know if they want to go, super crazy. And Washington still got something to play for as well. I think that's also worth mentioning here. If we look at the standings really quickly, it's the last thing I'll do, and we can move on to the next game. But if I look at the standings real quick, Washington is just one game behind the Chicago Sky. Chicago loses today. Atlanta loses today, which both of those teams could really lose. Washington has a lot to play for. I like that a little bit more now that I'm thinking, just talking it out loud. Washington plus 8.5 is the way that I would be looking to bet that one if I'm betting it at all. 8.5 is available on BetMGM right now. It's a little bit juiced at -125, but I like it. I like it. I think I'll be with my guy Chad here. All right, let's go to the next one. We got the Atlanta Dream and the Indiana Fever in a very meaningful game for Atlanta as well. I just told you guys that Atlanta and Chicago are tied. Chicago, both teams ended up winning on Friday night, so Chicago still owns a half game advantage. And if the playoffs were to start today before the game, Atlanta will be on the outside looking in. So Atlanta is coming off that big comeback win against the Dallas Wings. They had to fight really hard in that game because Dallas had them up, 15 points, I think it was at a certain point. And Dallas just starts turning the ball over like they always do and struggle to finish the game. This will be the first road game for Atlanta. And it's a one-off road game as well. They actually just played on Friday. Now they'll go to Indy for this game and come back home and host Minnesota on Tuesday. So don't really like that they've been traveling kind of all over the place. I don't like that at all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, 7 straight games in a new arena for the Atlanta Dream. Also don't like that they had to come back from that, the way that they had to come back in that game the other day. The Indiana Fever, red hot team, but I told you guys it was time for them to cool off the other day. Minnesota money line was the play. They ended up winning the game by 11, 99-88. So you get the Indiana Fever of 1 day's rest. This will be the third straight home game for them of a significantly long home stand. They got the Aces up on deck, but they don't play them until Wednesday. So it should be a good bounce back spot for the Indiana Fever here. The thing about the Dream, in my opinion, is their offense can just get really, really stagnant. The Fever's defense has not been great by any stretch of the imagination, but it had been a little bit better than giving up 99 points to the Minnesota Lynx Minnesota shot the leather off the basketball in that last game. So I kind of feel like Indiana could cover here. Don't want to lay too many points with them because they've been really struggling. Atlanta has a lot to play for. But I do like the way Indiana responded. I listened to some of the post-game interviews. Caitlin Clark was doing a little hissy fit stuff on the court after she thought she got fouled and the foul call wasn't called. So I think trying to find a way to play Indiana. I don't want to play the 5.5. Maybe look towards the team total over. I kind of feel like this game could go over too. Fever at home laying points have been over machines. I don't even know what this total opened at, but I think that's the way that I would play it. Don't really like that like I said, for the Atlanta Dream, they had to come back. They had to use a lot of energy in that fourth quarter. They outscored, and they went to overtime. I forgot about the overtime. They had to outscore Atlanta, Dallas 27-19 in the third quarter to win that quarter by 8. And then they had to outscore them 23-16. So that's another 6. So they were down 14 at halftime. Ended up going into that game, outscoring the Dallas Wings 15-4 in the overtime period. So don't like that as much. Atlanta's been traveling all over the place. I think Indy, maybe Indy live, because I don't like laying 5.5 with them. And I know it's a spot where Atlanta needs a win. But I think Indy bounces back off the loss too. So I would be looking towards Indy, maybe live. Don't really like the 5.5, but I think that they can get the job done here. I can see the Dream defense kind of running out of gas late just because of all the travel spot, maybe a little bit of fatigue kind of sitting in the second half. Like I said, this will be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight game for the Indiana Dream, for the Atlanta Dream. And they're coming off an overtime game with the travel. I'd like Indiana, third straight home game of a 6-game homestand coming off a loss to Minnesota. Could be a bounce back spot. I kind of talking myself into Atlanta. Cheyenne Parker-Tyus is out for the season, and Area Powers is out. Indiana got a clean injury report. All right, let's see what you guys are thinking about this one before we move it on. Dropping Dimes likes the over 168. Up to 169 now. I like it. Tori says WNBA picks Dream, Sky, Aces all on the spread. Okay. Joe says I'm gonna sign off, but I got the Browns over in the Browns. Raiders, Steelers, Dolphins, Cardinals, teams total over. Best of luck to everybody. Appreciate you, Joe the Gambler. Right there with you. I like a couple of those for sure. Chad says he'll take the team that actually does play defense. Yeah, I think the defense could run out of gas here in this spot, though, off the overtime game. We'll see how it goes, though, Chad. Dream team total over, Michael says. Drop a Dime says Fever first quarter team total over. Okay, we'll see how it goes. Drop a Dime also says Fever lost their composure in that third quarter against the Lynx. Post-game interview tells me they bounced back Fever by double digits here. Mark also says over. And if we go back and look at it just real quick, when they played on August the 26th, so not too long ago, that game went under the 167. That game was played in Atlanta at State Farm Arena. The Atlanta Dream were able to, the Indiana Fever were laying 1.5 points in that game, and they won that one by 5, 84-79. Indiana shot 41% from the field, 37% from the three-point line. Caitlin Clark had 19.7 rebounds and 7 assists in that game. Kelsey Mitchell cooked them as well with 29 points. Aaliyah Boston had 14 and 11 against Tina Charles. Atlanta, Tina Charles cooked Aaliyah Boston 28 and 8, 16 points on 5 for 17 shooting from Ryan Howard. They're going to need her to play a lot better than that. Jordan Canada finished with 10 and 6. Alicia Gray shot terrible and only had 12 points on 3 for 12 shooting. She did hit 3 of her 6 threes though, and they didn't get a lot of bench production. Maya Caldwell only had 3. Nia Coffey had 5. Haley Jones had 3. Okay, all right, cool. Let's move on to the next one very, very quickly. We got what do I have up here? Vegas and New York. So this is one I talked about. Really want to take New York minus the 3 yesterday. Didn't quite get there, and of course the line has moved to 4.5, 5, depending on where you're shopping. Vegas is on the second leg of a 4-game road trip. They got the Indiana Fever twice in Indiana coming up, and both of those games will be played on Wednesday and Friday this coming week. They've won 4 straight games. They've covered all 4 spreads. I talked about liking them against Connecticut. We took the under in that game, the first half under and the full game under. Both of those ended up cashing, and it wasn't even a sweat. Their defenses looked really, really good recently. I like the what I'm seeing from the defense. 67 points to the Connecticut Sun, 71 to Chicago Sky, even though they didn't have Kennedy Carter, 79 to the Phoenix Mercury, and 72 against the Atlanta Dream since giving up 93. And Coach Becky Hammond said, in the post-game interview, she said after the Dallas game, like we really looked ourselves in the mirror, and you can see that those games have all gone under outside of the Phoenix game where it went over because they scored 97 points. So 3-1 to the under in their last 3, 7-3 to the under in their last 10 as well. So a lot of things looking towards under in this game. The New York Liberty, second game of last of a second game, a two-game homestand. They did beat the Seattle Storm, did not cover that 8-point spread, ended up failing to cover by 1 point. And so second game at the crib, last game at the crib, they got 2 games against the Dallas Wings starting on Tuesday, and then they play them again on Thursday as well. This should be a spot, in my opinion, where the thing that really kept me off of this one, and I'll double check the injury report real quick, but I kind of feel like A'ja could potentially still sit in this game. She only played, she played the full game. For people who didn't see it, her leg kind of got rolled up on. She limped, it was only 5 seconds left in the game. She was getting a rebound. And I kind of feel like they could rest her in this spot. If they rest A'ja in this game, they don't play again until Thursday. I know she's not on the injury report. I mean, they don't play again until Wednesday. So she could have a legit 5 days rest. And eventually they're going to have to give her a day's rest with the everything that's come from the Olympic break, in my opinion. So I kind of think under could be a good spot in this game, especially if A'ja doesn't play. I know that the Aces are going to struggle to score the basketball. The Liberty have been top 5 defensive team in the WNBA full season, last 5 games, whatever the case might be. And I do think they got it out for the Aces, man. I think that they absolutely can't stand the Aces. And I think this will be the first time that the Aces have played in New York. Let me just double check it. Yeah, this will be the first time that the Aces play in New York since they beat them in the championship game in the WNBA finals last season. So pretty sure the Liberty probably got a pretty bad taste in their mouth, even though they beat the Aces twice already this season. I'll be laying the points with the Liberty in this spot, and I would also be looking towards the under. Both games have also gone under so far this season. 174.5 on both totals, and this one is 169.5. So that's probably a look towards the under as well. It'd be Liberty, and it'd be the under if I'm playing this game. Let's see what you guys are thinking here. Over for this game for sure. I'm not sure if we're talking about the same one. Alex dropping down since he got it at 3.5. Libs, Chad says, and I agree, man. Ace has been hot. I would probably fade him in this spot, though. I probably would. I just don't think the Liberty gonna overlook the team, because I thought about it. Liberty, of course, much better team right now, in my opinion. But they've beaten this team already, so Ace has probably got more to prove in their opinion. But I don't think it's that simple in this one. I don't think it's that simple. Mark says he took the Libs, but -4.5 should still work. Yeah, if they're going to win the game, I think it's going to be by multiple possessions. I would agree. Sterling says the A'ja under on her points, rebounds, and assists. She got a tough matchup, and she could potentially be hampered by that lower leg injury. Jacko Jones is a really good defender. I just think the Liberty are a much deeper team too. So I like under. I like Liberty. Justin says I got Liberty yesterday, but can't remember what I laid. Got to check. Probably 3.5 on the DraftKings, what we talked about yesterday. Jalen says live first half, full game, -110 in his pocket. David says just showing you love, brother. Appreciate that, David. Hope all is well with you. Enjoy your Sunday, my brother. Chad says Libs will never overlook the Aces. They're coming for blood every game against them. And I absolutely agree with that. So we're on the same wavelength here, Chad. Libs -4.5 is what I would be playing. And like I said, I also like the under as well. But you can wait and see what happens with A'ja. This game doesn't kick off until 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So we'll see. Football will be on. I probably won't be locked in the WNBA if I'm being honest with you guys. Next two, very quickly, Dallas and Chicago +4.5 are the Chicago Sky. This line was 1.5 last night for them. And then the news came out about Angel Reese. She tweeted out that she's going to miss the rest of the season with a wrist injury, I think it is. So they're shutting her down. When I was going through and looking at it last night, man, I think the biggest impact is going to be on the defensive end. I don't have the numbers directly in front of me right now, and I really don't even try to feel like trying to go find them either. But I'll look at them real quick just to kind of give you guys what my thought process was on this game, because I did immediately look into that. So if you look at the on-off court numbers for the Chicago Sky with Angel Reese on the floor, just trying to see what kind of impact she is. When Angel Reese has played, she's played 1,104 minutes this season. The Chicago Sky have an offensive rating of 99.7 and a defensive rating of 99.0. So she's a plus 0.08 net rating. You look at the Chicago Sky with Angel Reese off the floor, offensive rating goes down to 85.2. The defensive rating skyrockets up to a 107.5. Her ability to be able to rebound the basketball as a part of defense in general, that's a big hit, man. They're minus 22.3 with her off the floor. You absolutely don't love it. Now, do you want to lay points with a team on the road that is also just, 2-11 are the Dallas Wings? I think they're on the road at this point. 2-15, my fault. 2-15 on the road. Chicago needs to win. Dallas, of course, needs to win, even though I think they could potentially be eliminated or really, really close to it. Don't want to lay points with Dallas. It seems like a spot where they should probably get the job done. Maybe a look towards them live. Maybe a look towards their team total to go up and over. Let's see what that number is real quick. The Dallas Wings team total. I think I could probably get behind that. 170.5, it looks like. 170, it looks like is the full total. Dallas team total is at 87.5. I think they could score 90 points against this version. Because when you think about the impact, at least the way I think about it, when I think about the impact of losing Angel Reese, that's the identity of the Chicago Sky. They're a rebounding team. They're a second chance opportunity, type team. It's not going to look at, nearly as well offensive rebounding the basketball. They struggle to score anyway when you put Michelle Onyenwere out there. Isabel Harrison probably going to play a few more minutes as well. I just don't like it as much for I don't want to lay points with Dallas on the road, but I think if I had to play, that's the way that I would look. I would also probably be looking towards Chicago team total to go under. And that's really difficult to say because Dallas defense has been historically bad. But I think that they could struggle to score the basketball without having Angel Reese to get those offensive rebound opportunities, second chance points. So really difficult game for me to cap. What up, Big Tone? He says, what up, Chris? Good luck, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Right back at you, bro. Alex says he grabbed the Liberty at 4. He says that defense is going to hurt the Aces scoring potential. Dropping Dime says Cardoso 10 points, 10 rebounds for plus 110 on Bet365. Her double-double is minus 125, but if you play it this way, you get more value on the same play. Appreciate you dropping that in here, Dropping Dimes. I absolutely agree with that. Cardoso double rebounds ladder. Her double-double. Yeah, Cardoso, I couldn't talk anybody off Cardoso. She's not going to get pulled out of the paint because she's going to have to stay down there and guard Tierra McCowan. Her post defense hasn't been that great, but as long as she can stay out of foul trouble, it makes a lot of sense. Chad says Sky offense will make your IQ drop and eyes bleed. Yeah, it's pretty terrible. And that's one of the reasons why I couldn't get there with the over in this spot. But don't let me talk you off, Dropping Dimes. Lando says, who y'all think gonna get the LMK rebounds then? The let me know rebounds? I don't know what that means. It's gonna have to be Cardoso in my opinion. Kennedy Carter is a pretty good rebounder. Let's see, rebound percentage for this team. Angel Reese, of course, is number 1. Yeah, Kennedy Carter probably gonna play the whole game. Isabel Harrison, we probably won't even get her numbers, but she's a candidate as well. Yeah, Diamond DeShield. I'm not sure what's gonna happen in this game. I don't even want to talk about it no more. Tad says he got the early number at plus 1.5. Can't lay 5 though, and I'm right there with you. No way I can play this game live. Marquis says he likes Tierra McCowan double-double. Appreciate you for dropping in as always, Kilo. Best of luck today on all your action. Who guards Satu with Angel out? Diamond DeShields probably. I'm not sure, Chad. That's a Onyenwere probably. That's a really good matchup for them. Pace is going to be interesting because Dallas plays so fast and Chicago plays so slow in this game as well. All right, let's go to the last one on the board for today. Recommendation would probably just be, I'm staying off the Dallas-Chicago game. I can't even give y'all the recommendation, honestly, in that one because I can't lay points, but it should be a Dallas spot. Connecticut and LA plus 10.5 are the Sparks. So we got that season win total that looks really, really good with the LA Sparks to go under their season win total on the full season. I think we got it at 8.5, under 8.5. So for them not to win 2 more games, They picked up one win against the LA the Liberty, which really blows my mind. Now they come back home off a 2-game road trip. They lost both of those games to the Indiana Fever, to the Chicago Sky. Covered one, didn't cover the other. Just a real Jekyll and Hyde type team. They also got they got a rematch against the Connecticut Sun coming up on Tuesday. Same arena. They'll be at the crib. Then they got Seattle twice. So hopefully they just lose out. I need them to lose every one of these games, and they should lose all of them. Connecticut did lose to the Aces in their last game, which dropped them out of the second place. So they're still playing for a home court in the playoffs. The Lynx won. So the Lynx, I think, are in second. Connecticut is in third now. They've actually lost back-to-back games, Seattle and Vegas. They also just don't cover these big numbers, which scares me a lot. I think if I'm playing the game, just off principle, I think I want to look a little bit towards the over. I know Connecticut offense isn't great. I know that the Sparks can also struggle to score the basketball, but the LA Sparks do play at a very fast pace. Connecticut pace has been faster over the last 10 games since they, got Marina Mabrey. I think I would be looking towards the Sparks early, and I would be looking to, because they continue to cover these big numbers early in games for whatever reason, and their offense just fall off a cliff. I've been talking about that for quite some time now. So a look towards the over, I think, is what I'm looking at. One thing I do want to check just very quickly, and I know that's been profitable, is looking towards the and we're almost done, man. This show is not supposed to have been this long, if I'm being honest with you guys. The Sparks, when they've been getting double digits this season, 12-3 against the number, 11-4 to the over. That makes me like the over a lot. 12-3 against the number when they're getting double digits, 11-4 to the over. And if they're at home, 4-1 against the number, 5-0 to the over. So it's just a spot where, defense typically lets down. Connecticut's defense has been a little Jekyll and Hyde recently. I guess they've still been a pretty good defense, but it could be a flat spot for them. They've also beat the Sparks a couple of times already this season. There's potential that they could overlook this team. This season, both games have actually stayed under, 2-0 to the under, and they've been staying under by a lot. First one stayed under on June the 18th by 5. The second one stayed under by 28 on the 20th of August. That scares me off just a tad bit, but they have covered both spreads. I'm not sure if it's a matchup thing or not, but they've covered both spreads against this team, getting 13 and 13.5, and now it's 9.5. So, or 10.5, depending on where you're shopping. I think a look towards, towards them early. I feel like they could kind of, not score in the second half. And if you look at the numbers, they've been getting outscored in the second half in these two games for sure. I think I don't want to get there with the Sun for the full game, but I think Sparks first half would probably be the look if I'm taking anything here. Let's see. Chad says, only game he didn't bet. Justin says, appreciate the show in the chat. Chris, appreciate you for tapping in as always, Justin. Best of luck to you on the action today, bro. Mark says, thanks for the work, Chris and crew. Best of luck today. Yeah, I'm not getting involved in this Connecticut and LA game. This is also, what time does it start? 9 o'clock game. Connecticut on the West Coast. Sparks first game back home. Yeah, I'll stay off of this one. So getting into a quick recap of the things that we did talk about today. As my guy Justin says, good luck. He's not messing with that trash game at the end. These are the plays that I locked in and that I'm sending out. Dak Prescott up and over his 34.5 pass attempts. Ezekiel Elliott, longest rush, under 10.5 yards. I think the best number was -105 over on BetMGM. I do like Bijan Robinson to find the end zone today at -105. Atlanta, I bought a point, -3 on DraftKings was the best number that I saw. And Houston, -155 on DraftKings as well. Just staying away from the spread with them on the road. But I think that they're a much better team. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of Anthony Richardson. He's going to have to prove it to me. So these are the five plays that I locked in today. Didn't play any WNBA. Short list would be Arizona, Buffalo, up and over the total. I like the look that Justin gave out on Will Levis to go up and over 233.5 passing yards. WNBA, Washington plus 8.5. Some way to play Indy, even if it's a second half spread, is something that I'll be looking at. Libs game to go under with Aces. and libs minus the 4.5. I think are the best looks that I like, man. Best of luck to you guys. Resources that I use to handicap the games, as always, are here. Check out OddsJam if you guys have not. There's a referral code in here where you can get 20% off. You hear me go through, and find the best number like at the snap of a finger. I'm using the live OddsJam screen. You can get 20% off your first month using the referral code that's in the description, or just using code CBC when you go and check out. And the same thing for Moneyballer. 50% off your first month over there if you guys are interested, using code ChrisBeCappinn with 2 P's and 2 N's. Other resources listed at the bottom as well. If you guys enjoyed the show, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, share the show, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. If you're watching on X or Twitter, make sure you guys jump over on YouTube as well, so you can leave comments. Let me know what you're betting as well. What would be your best bet for today? Bet responsibly as always. It is week 1 in the NFL. I know everybody's super excited, as I am too, but it don't mean you got to go super crazy, man. It's going to be plenty of times to make a lot of money in the NFL for the foreseeable future. So best of luck on all your action for today, man. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.